The middle of winter is never a time that you're like excited to be outside, but let me tell you, you don't want to miss out on one of my favorite perennials of the year. These are Lenten Rose or Hellebores. This is a particular series called Frost Kiss that we grow here on the farm. Check out these beautiful flowers. They come in a wider range of colors. This is Penny's Pink. We also have some beautiful white ones. This is their time to shine, and it's time to come out to Bauman Farms and pick them up, because right now these beauties are normally over 20 bucks a piece, but you can pick them up 2 for 25. Each week at the farm, we try and focus on a hot sheet item, a plant that is a must-have this particular week. We always try and throw this sign out here to let you know. And I wanted to create some displays each week trying to provide a little bit of inspiration on plants that go with them. Hellebores during the middle of winter are maybe not the easiest plant to figure out what to do. And a lot of times hellebores want to be kind of that understory plant. That's why they love kind of a shady porch or patio. You can put them in containers and stuff. They work great, but there's tons of other plants that go well with them. And you can look at all the flower beds coming up. This particular variety is called Charmer. So I wanted to grab some cool kind of different colors to go with it. Heucheras are an exceptional plant for the winter time. Check out this lime green color. I think it really pops with these other hellebores. Ferns work great this time of the year. They love all the rain and moisture that we have coming in. And this is actually, I've used this plant a lot. You've seen it in some of our other videos. This is Fuchsia camouflage. It looks great all winter long. Those big, beautiful leaves, just that chartreuse green kind of brightens stuff up. But you can see by pairing all of these different plants together, even right now, you can create a really cool, beautiful display out in the garden to keep things looking fresh, new, and exciting. So throughout the summer and the winter, even the winter, hang on out, follow along, because we have some really great plants coming out. First baskets on the docket every year for production are always fuchsias. I talked about it a little bit the other week ago. I was gonna say last week, but we've been off for a couple weeks for the holidays, which is fantastic. But now we are back, and I am like bursting at the seams with things to do, which is why I grabbed Jessica and I'm like, we got to get in the nursery because there's so many things going on. The fuchsias that we did a couple weeks ago have now got their second pinch on the flowers to try and get them nice and full. So you can see they're starting to fill out pretty good. And I had them go through, like this one right here got pinched the other day, but you can see this one right here got missed. So we'll come back in and try and check. This one got missed. And keep an eye on these and keep them really nice and pinched back so that we're going to get a really nice full fuchsia baskets. These we were working on yesterday. We'll kind of go back through, make sure any of those, because once you pinch them, any of the ones that we miss, a week later, they're gonna pop back up and you can very easily see which ones you've missed. We'll go back through and get those pinched down, but I'm gonna have Jessica swirl around here with me because all of this just arrived yesterday. So we have so much to do, which is a lot of fun. Each one of these trays is over 100 starts. So we easily have 200 trays here. So there's only 2,000 plants to plant in the next couple days because next week more arrive. This is our first batch from Proven Winners that came in. The Proven Winners rooting station that we're using for these is 4-star. And a couple different things that I'm working on. One, we do these window boxes, and Proven Winners works with me. So the window boxes that go on the gutters around the farm, the window boxes that go on the barn, all of those are one of the first things I plant because I want those out by as close to the 1st of April as we can. And I really want to feature the new products that are coming out, some of their top combos for this year, and things that I think are going to be like must-haves. So there's a couple new things in here, so come on down. To me, the new potato vines coming out this year are really some of the stars for Proven Winners. This is their new potato vine called Shadow Storm. It's got green and black all in the same foliage. When I trialed it last year, it was a really good grower. I'm pairing it with a couple of different flowers just to kind of see how that green and black go well together. And I also want to see how vigorous this is with everything else. So you're going to see this up on some of our baskets. This is the brand new Vista Super Tunia for this year. This is Cool Jazz. You'll notice that the flower size is really, really small in this tray. And that's because when you're growing them in these small trays, you really want to control the growth. We keep them as tight as possible, well, they do, to make sure that they don't get too long and leggy in the plug trays. So a lot of times you'll see a little bit of deformation on the flowers. They're a little smaller when they're arriving in January. As we warm these up, give them some fertilizer, you're going to see larger, more traditional size flowers, but you can get a sense that color is going to be so pretty. And I am pairing that with this Shadow Storm because I really think the two of those are going to be really nice. And I'm also putting the brand new, unfortunately it's not blooming yet, brand new Calibrachoa Double Grapefruit, which in the springtime is going to have a little more pink, and as the summertime warms up, it's going to be a little more yellow. Another petunia this year I'm really excited about that we're putting in some of the window boxes is the brand new Mini Pink Cloud. I find with petunias when they have a little bit smaller flower, you're going to get a little bit better flower coverage. So when you don't have that big blossom and then it fades away, you don't get the holes. You just have a ton of small blossoms that keep really good flower coverage. You get a really nice full basket. So we're putting this in some of our window boxes. But honestly, this is the plant I personally am most excited for. This is Black Medusa, another brand new potato vine. They've had one called Green Medusa in the past. It was excellent. I loved it. Black is kind of hard to get excited for spring, I know, but I just loved having the fine feathered foliage. The big flowers are going to go on top of it. I really think that black background is going to make everything else pop so much clearer. So this first batch of laydown is our window boxes for all our display. I also have a batch of early baskets. And when I'm planting for early baskets, petunias, calibrachoas, verbenas, all of them they bloom based on how much sun they get. Certain plants will bloom a lot faster than others. And Proven Winners has a really great chart that helps me kind of figure out which one. In fact, Jessica, let's throw up a picture. You'll see in the catalog, it tells me which ones bloom first and which ones take more light to bloom. So I've gone through and picked some of my favorites that bloom early so that I can come right out of the gate, end of March, 1st of April, hitting it hard in the Northwest with some really great color that I know is going to pop really quickly. And use this kind of as a chart. If you're looking for, you have an event, you have a wedding or something early, this will give you a chance to figure out what's going to bloom first. With literally hundreds of thousands of plants coming in right now, space is important, which is why a lot of our benches roll so that we don't have to have a space in between every other one. We can just move them around as we need to in order to get in. This whole batch is all geranium starts. And the very first planting of geraniums that we do is what we do in our UFO baskets, unique flowering objects. And they're literally like a flying saucer. And these are actually, they could use maybe a little more time. And it's not bad. You can see there's quite a bit of roots in there, but I just don't see a lot of new growth on the top yet. These are going to be fine probably until next week. I have plenty of other things to keep me busy between now and next week. So these geraniums are going to stay here until next week. And in next week's video, I'll show you kind of how we plant up those UFO baskets, because it's a little different when you're dealing with a basket where you're planting around the sides and on the top. You need to put the soil in a little different. There's a few more things you have to be careful with. So we'll show you that. Stay tuned for next week to see that. The rest of this over here, for the most part, is all of our mixed shade baskets. Mixed shade takes a lot more work and a lot more time than mixed sun hanging baskets. Things grow varying. Their vigorous levels are differently. For example, this coleus is going to grow super fast. This one right here is trailing burgundy. And you can see this one right here is Great Falls Yosemite. Both of these are trailing coleuses. And then this last one right here is trailing pink. And you can see these ones are growing much quicker than this one. So in order to get all of our shade baskets to kind of play nicely in a finished pot, I plant all of these up into individual pots first. I pinch some of them back. I'll control the growth on some of them if I need to. Some of them require different light requirements. For example, begonias need tons of light. They need 16 to 18 hours of light, honestly, in order to keep going. 12 hours is a must. Anything less than that, they're not gonna grow. In fact, they'll shut down, start forming tubers and not work. So we put all of our begonias in an area where they're gonna get lots of light. The coleus, if I put them with that much light, they're gonna grow like weeds and it's not gonna work. So I'll put these in a little bit lower light, I'll control the growth and put the begonias in an area where they have a lot more light and they can grow. So all of this is for shade. Geraniums, some more fuchsias in the back. We'll put those separately too so I can pinch them and get them ready to go. But we have mixed shade this week, window boxes, and early mixed sun. All of that has got to be planted, and I want to show you what we're working on. The whole crew is busy in here getting all of these window boxes planted. Each one of these designs, like I mentioned, is plants that I want to feature for this upcoming year. And you can look at this one right here. This is actually one of Proven Winners' signature combos for the summer. Hoopla Vivid Orchid, I think, is their annual of the year. Pairing it with a mini white petunia, verbena, superbena, violet ice. And last but not least, I love Dichondra Silver Falls to add kind of a trailing accent. And I go back and forth with my production crew on how to plant these because there's really I have two different methods. Let me show you what I mean. So Jessica, if you look right here, we have the two verbenas planted in the middle. Then we have two dichondras, two petunias, and then two more petunias. There's 10 total plants in here. And the way they've designed this right now, you have all the verbena in the center and all the petunias on the outside. And if we line these up, you will never know the difference. The other option when laying this out is we could put a verbena here and a verbena here, and we could put a petunia, petunia, dichondra, dichondra, and kind of spread them out through the basket. But you end up with a combo, a combo, a combo, a combo. And sometimes I feel like they don't mix very well. But when we plant it this way, you're gonna end up with a petunia heavy area and then a filler heavy area. So I oftentimes will kind of lay my plants out in the basket a little bit differently and see how they work. So we'll do this combo this way and I'll probably do the next combo the other way. So as we get each of the different combos ready to put on here, we kind of lay them out on the shelves on how we want them to go. We've got a couple different, let me show you for example. This one is going to start with the Calibracoa. This is Tropical Sunrise. We have Cupia Vermillionaire, which is going to be that kind of tall centerpiece to it. This is also one of Proven Winners' featured plants of the year. This is Safari Dusk. It's a James Britannia, something that you probably haven't heard a lot of, but you are going to hear a lot more because Proven Winners came out with this and now everyone else has got their own line of James Britannias coming out. So kind of pin that to your ear, watch this space because there's going to be a lot more of those coming into the market. We also have a really nice potato vine. This one is Sweet Caroline Light Green. And last but not least is Saffron Finch. So we lay them out in these areas so that the guys know when they're planting them on which ones go with each one. We are going to be doing this every single week from now until May. So you're going to want to stick around, like, follow, subscribe, because I'm going to walk you through all the cool plants that are going to be ready for us this spring. What a great way, even though it is rainy and yucky outside, to get excited and ready to go, because ready or not, here it comes. I know it's the middle of winter, but get this. Now is one of the most exciting times to be a gardener because there is so many cool houseplants coming in. We have plants from literally all over the country and the world. Some of these are from Canada, some of them are from down in Miami, and we have some of the most beautiful houseplants coming in right now. This is Philodendron Cobra. Check out this cool variegation. A lot of them look super cool right there. And starting on Wednesday, January 14th, all of this is gonna be 30% off. And there's so many more to take a look at. And you know, it's funny because some of them don't look as exciting right now, but they will later. And I'm gonna have Jessica, okay, like whoop-de-ding, right? Like not very exciting. But this is a philodendron called Burl Max Flame. And I'll have Jessica throw up a picture of it because when it gets really big and you get that giant kind of serration and all the holes down through the leaves, it is absolutely spectacular. And this is your chance to pick up these nice little great plants to get started at 30% off at the farm. Some of these I've never seen before. Like, check out this brand new philodendron. This is Philodendron Crocodile. Beautiful plant. From some that have probably been around, just gonna wanna grab this one. I had to look this up because on my sheet, it says cardboard. This houseplant is called cardboard. And believe it or not, when you touch it, it kind of feels like cardboard, but it looks to me like a really cool ZZ plant. Super durable, super easy to take care of. Nice size 10-inch pot. What a great way to kind of bring some life in the house right now because outside it is raining today, it is cold, it is yucky, but in here and at Bauman Farms, there's so many cool things. Come on. We have a couple of really cool ZZ plants here right now. This, you may have seen before, this is Raven, dark, beautiful foliage. This one is a little bit newer to me. This is Chameleon, and it starts out with these kind of variegated foliage, and then as it ages, it's gonna turn more green. But the thing that I like about it is you get the green and the variegated all in one different plant. Kind of my key with ZZs is don't water them too much. They do not like a lot of water. They want to stay on the drier side or they tend to rot out, which is how my sister always manages to kill hers. One of the nice things about bringing plants out of Florida and some other places, because in Oregon it is hard when there is no light to get things started. These pothos, check out, this is Pinatum albo. A really nice pothos with some cool variegation. And you can kind of look in here, look at all the starts in this 6-inch pot. Really nice plant, lots of good starts, nice and full. All of these, 30% off at Bauman's. And I know it looks like we have a lot of them, but we already have a lot of people coming in and grabbing them. They will not last long. So the sale only goes from Wednesday until Saturday. So make sure you come out, take a look because there is so many great plants and they're all 30% off.